Okay. Thank you all for coming to watch my signature assessment presentation. This is for my very last class of my master's. So today I'm going to go over my personal vision statement, the identified problem that I chose to talk about, the strategy and intervention, which was annotating the text, how I implemented that, the student data that I received, and the conclusion / next steps that I'm going to do. So my personal vision statement for my classroom is that I believe in creating a classroom community where every voice is heard, every idea is valued, and every learner is empowered to be successful. Instruction will be tailored to meet the needs of each student and help them make continued growth. I will foster a collaboration between families and the community in order to build strong relationships. With dedication and perseverance, each student will be successful on their journey towards their fullest potential. Okay, so when I got assigned this project, we had to think about like an identified problem in our classroom, and I really was thinking about our weekly flashbacks and how I felt like our comprehension was struggling. So looking at that formative assessment and assessing comprehension over the last 4 to 6 weeks, I noticed the decrease in the scores. So I wanted to really look at something that was going to help increase the comprehension on those weekly assessments and really just boost overall comprehension. So the strategy that I chose to implement in my classroom is annotating. This is a reading comprehension strategy that helps the reader keep track of thoughts, questions, and creates a deeper understanding of the text. It also really just helps the kids to slow down when they're reading, because we know a lot of times they're just trying to rush to get through the assignment. Teaching students annotation strategies will help them dig deeper and get more meaning out of the text. Using this strategy involves things like students highlighting, underlining, and making notes off to the side to help better understand their understanding. Even if you're doing this on a computer, you can have them do it on scrap paper if they don't have an article in front of them. So this can be used digitally or on a hard copy. I also was able to find an article that kind of supported this as a positive strategy to use in the classroom. This was from an 8th grade social studies class. After this teacher implemented it in their classroom, the results showed that the strategy increased student engagement and in their reading comprehension, because the teacher was really struggling with that social studies content and getting students to understand it. But once she implemented the annotation strategy, she saw an increase in student scores and in student engagement in her classroom. Okay, so this is how I implemented the strategy. To increase student assessment scores and engagement with the text, I'm going to introduce annotating the text as a strategy to use while reading. Students are going to receive a bookmark with annotation symbols that represent notes like I have a question about, or I can make a connection to this. Using the bookmark, they will make notes off to the side about what they are thinking while reading. The end goal is to get them away from that bookmark, but that's just kind of to get them to learn how to annotate and like what some possible annotations are. This should force them to slow down and engage more with the text. I will use the assessment data from the last weekly assessment that we take to compare to the newest assessment data when students are using the annotating reading strategy to see if there is any type of positive impact. Okay, so this is basically the data that I got. I took the formative data from before I started implementing and then to after I implemented, and you can see like overall the majority of my class did a lot better. There's a few students that their scores remained the same, and then there's a few students that their scores dropped, but overall the majority of my students had major gains, and I think that comes down to better understanding the text and slowing down and thinking about what the questions are asking and thinking about what the text is really talking about. So kind of conclusion and next steps with this strategy. After implementing the reading strategy, there's a clear positive impact in my student assessment scores in reading. So I'm definitely going to continue to use this strategy across content areas with text. And after talking to all of my teammates, we are planning on using it as a grade level, as a reading strategy that we use across all subject areas as well, due to the positive impact between the student engagement and the assessment scores. Okay, thank you all so much.